Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs has paved the way for the Electoral Amendment Bill. Now, it has been made, or should I say, it has made several decisions on how independent candidates would participate in general elections. Let's try and get an update now, and we speak to Parliament's Home Affairs Committee Chairperson, Mosa Chabane, who talks to us from Limpopo. Mr. Chabane, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time. Let's start with an update as to how much work has gone so far into this bill. How soon should we expect it to become law?
Morning, Coley, and thanks for inviting us. Coley, you recall that we did made an application for an extension so that we're able to give an opportunity for the committee to deliberate on the inputs that the stakeholders and our people have made. At this stage, we've now deliberated on key issues that must respond to that Concord judgment directive. And we know that we've been, as you know, that currently the Parliament is on recess, but the committees continue to do this work with an attempt to make sure that the period that they've been given, we're able to conclude this process. Mm-hmm. Secondly, is that when Parliament reopens, we think that the Portfolio Committee will be able to bring the report before the National Assembly so that the National Council of Provinces are able to also engage on the report that could have passed in Parliament. We're hopeful that by the end, in terms of that time period allocated, we'll be able to have exhausted all the issues, and the participation will be allowed for adults in the 2024 local, provincial and national election.
Yeah, all right. And I suppose the time frame you are referring to there is the December deadline. Is government likely to meet that deadline, or are we too far off the mark?
No, not at all. We are not too far from the mark. As I've indicated, that when we reopen, the Committee of Home Affairs, Portfolio Committee, will be able to give a report to the National Assembly. Thereafter, once the National Assembly has considered the report then will be submitted to and referred to NCOP. And NCOP has to engage on its own process so that it further consults our people to make more inputs if necessary in terms of the report that will be received. Once the NCOP have also again considered the report and adopted the report, then it will be referred for President to do assent. And once the President has signed the report, then it will be become law for persons to be allowed to participate in both provincial and local government election. Then the IEC will be able to look on what Parliament has taken a decision on, look on its process, internal process, if they had to amend the Electoral Act or other regulation that they must undertake. They have to come back to the Portfolio Committee. But I think by that time we'll be able to be ready.
Unforeseen delays, do you expect any of that?
Well, we don't unforesee any delays. As I've indicated, commitment we have demonstrated as a committee that recess, when Parliament went to recess, we did an application to Parliament to allow the Portfolio Committee to continue with its work during this recess. As you have noticed that we have been able to interact with the IEC and the Home Affairs and the legal teams that are guiding in terms of the issues that require the attention of the Portfolio Committee. So we don't foresee any delay or confident that at the level of the Portfolio Committee of the National Assembly, we're able to give a report for consideration of the National Assembly when we reopen.
All right. Maybe let me put it plainly, and that is that to people who are listening to you and me speak right now, and particularly those that may want to contest the election as independents, do you think that 2024, by the time we reach that particular time, the people that want to contest the election as independents, they will fully participate in that election?
Well, in the update of the process, we've engaged at the level of the Portfolio Committee, National Assembly. we think that that will be possible. And because we submit a report to the National Assembly, the National Assembly must debate that report, consider it, and once the National Assembly has considered that report, must then be referred to the NCOP for the same process to be engaged on. And the process to be that must be engaged at the level of NCOP, it may be outside the ambit of the portfolio committee. We may not know what will be further inquiries or issues that may come in the portfolio committee, in the NCOP. Then must be referred to the president for assent, for signing off, and the president may also in his team make his collective opinion in terms of making sure that the law that is the amendment bill that came before him or the collective he led to sign off is able to make sure that it's within the framework of the Constitution of the Republic and allow fairness and participation of adults in terms of the directive of the Constitutional Court. But we're hopeful that we'll make sure that we respect the directive of the Constitutional Court, all layers which are highlighted.
All right. That's the chairperson of the Home Affairs Portfolio Committee in Parliament, Mosa Chabane, giving us an update on the work that's currently being done on this Electoral Amendment Bill.